Doing the episode cut got me hit. Okay, you know what? Doing the episode cut screwed me, because I was like, oh wait, I said I was going to do it, and then I looked away to press the button, hoping that I could get it before the cutscene, or before the loading screen finished, and yeah. Versus has the worst projectile for that you've ever seen. I don't like homing projectiles that are like that. Especially in a game like this, because, like, you dodge, and then you still get hit because it has a splash damage that went through you and hit the ground directly next to you, and thus damaged you. Like, go fuck yourself. I switched to this because I was out of stamina. That did not do nearly as much as I had hoped. It's like, it's super fast, but it's okay. It just feels like it doesn't really do a lot of damage against turns. And yes, I could have gotten a little bit of extra damage there, but I didn't have any stamina. Okay. You can dodge the same projectile for 3 minutes before it times out. That's stupid. Could you fuck off, lady? Yeah, stand in the void zone. Okay, good. Yeah, I know. I could be, like, swirling out a little bit of extra damage during these, but I'm not. Still damage. Still taking damage. Fuck, this is so frustrating. Once again, we're gonna go into phase 2 with a maximum of 5 heals. Ow. Nope. I hate this. I really, really don't like fighting casters as a melee character. That did a 180. Kill that angel. I'm gonna try. Okay. Deal. have no idea what the timing for this shit is. This feels worse than the final boss in Liza P's DLC. Because, like, at least with his, I felt like I was getting to a point... Like, the first phase wasn't long enough. You know? Like, the first phase was kind of short, so the second phase earned how hard it was. And so, like, even with the weird timing that the volley at the beginning had, like, I felt like I was able to deal with it. Whereas, with this game, getting to phase 2 is such a long slog. And then phase 2, the timings are so wonky, I don't feel like I'm learning them. And I'm sure after, like, 17 hours, I'll have them down. But, like, I don't feel like I'm getting to a position where I can learn them. And part of it is because this is just a really long first phase. Okay. Okay, can I get stamina, please? Also, okay, I'll just not... I'm just gonna sit here with my fucking block up. It wasn't a meat grinder to reach that point and learn phase 2 mean sets. I didn't think it was. I felt like the final boss of the DLC for Liza P was actually not that bad. Phase 1 had some spots in it that hurt like a motherfucker. But not only did you have assistance in the form of like story mode NPC, and yes, I'm aware that I can get help from an NPC in this if I really wanted to. Like, there is an NPC, like, there is a spirit of something that you can get to help you, but there's an achievement for not summoning at all. So of course I'm not going to. Because fuck that. But, the fight wasn't as long. And so even though the second phase was extremely difficult, and I'm not going to say that it wasn't, the second phase was one of the hardest Souls fights I've ever had to deal with. It was also one of the coolest, but it was hard. And it has this opening volley when the phase changes that is like, it's 4 attacks, a dash attack. It's 4 attacks that you have to parry. A dash attack. Oh, that's bullshit. The 3 little floaty orbs should not. Should not. Those are what's pissing me off. I love it when I do my dodge attack and it just doesn't do anything. Or when I do my dash and it doesn't do anything. So, it had, like... I'm watching those stupid things. It had, so yeah, it did 4 major, like, AoE volleys. There's a wall there, video game. And then he would dash into you. And then he would jump up and do, like, 3 slashes in quick succession, and then, like, a pause before 2 more slashes, and then a really wide sweep AoE. And that AoE left a explosion, like, cloud on the ground. And then there would be the explosion that would happen. So you'd have to parry 4 times, dodge out of the way, run away. He would jump up in the air. You'd have to parry 4 times, pause, parry like 2 or 3 more times, dash out of the way of the AoE, and then dash out of the explosion of the AoE. And it was really difficult at first because it felt like there was no timing to it. There was no pause. It was all over. Even if you got some of them, you know, like the second one would get you. And the fact that a lot of these were big hits with really wide hitboxes, it was really easy to get fucked on by them. But by like the second hour, I had it. It was just a matter of execution. And part of that was because I could get to phase 2 pretty consistently. And yes, a big chunk of that was having an NPC assistance. But this is just a really long slog. And there's so much of like void zones that I can't step in. So I have to, like, I'm playing keep away. And she's fucking disappearing some of the times. Okay, was that a front? That was a front attack. Okay. Yeah, that was lucky, I think. No. Shouldn't have hit me. IMHO. Yeah, no, that... Oh, okay. Fucking hell. That volley was intense, but it was learnable. This, I don't feel like... Oh, for fuck's sake. I am mashing the button. You guys can see me hitting it. And I just stood there like a fucking idiot. But like this one, I'm feeling like getting to phase 2 takes so long that trying to learn phase 2 is gonna be a huge pain in the ass. And part of me wants to just play keep away until she does until she flies up in the air. You know? Like I just want to play keep away until she flies up in the air. And then just do that thing. Over and over again. But that doesn't seem like it's gonna be it's not very fun. It's not very interesting to watch. You know? Okay, so that doesn't do damage to me if I parry it. Yeah, this one. Like, cause that's so incredibly consistent. That I just want to do that over and over again. But I mean, that's kind of been like a consistent issue with this game. I remember watching, I didn't actually watch the stream, but I was watching a clip of Girl DM who played this as well, and when she fought Elamane, she just got so fucking done with the bullshit of the mechanics that she literally just parried her to death, because she just didn't want to engage with the game's mechanics, because it was that frustrating. And I feel like a lot of the fights have been like that. And I hate that because there's some really good character design. I feel like there's a lot of failures in the writing of this game, specifically with Reese. But when I don't want to engage with the actual mechanics of it because they're just frustrating and unfun, I feel like you've failed as a game dev. And there's a lot of places in this where all I want to do is just be like, well, fuck it, I'll just stand here and parry. I'll just dodge. I'm not going to get in there and hit her because guess who's just going to take a bunch of fucking unnecessary damage? Me. So why bother? And I think a part of it is like, so if you see this, I wind up for the big swing, and the chances of me... Oh, you can parry those into her. Interesting. Fuck me, I guess. Ow. No, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. And it's happened on multiple bosses where I'm just like, I don't want to continue engaging with this. That was hilarious. See, but here's an excellent example. Is you have this big wind-up, but it doesn't interrupt her. The fact that it doesn't interrupt her means that anytime I want to do more than one attack, I'm taking such a big risk and I'm going to take damage. We talked about this at the very beginning of the game. Like at the very, 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 very beginning of the game. At like the third boss. We did the math. The third boss has more HP across both phases than the final boss of Elden Ring's DLC. I'm not saying the name for people who might not have done it, despite the distance and like how long it's been. But the third boss of this game has more HP across all of his health bars, plus the trade-off of damage is almost always it's almost always a losing trade. And it's the whole problem, and this has been a problem since the first Dark Souls game, like way, way, way back in like what, 2014 or something like that. The very first Dark Souls game is that you have a boss that can do ranged attacks, right? Or they have gap closers. And so you take a bunch of damage, and you back off away from the boss to heal, and then you're locked in the animation of using your Estus Flask or whatever. You've already been spoiled, I'm sorry. So you step back and you use your heal, you use your little healy button, and then the boss hits you in the animation. And so you've used up an Estus Flask. Definitely hollowed on the rot boss. So you use the Estus Flask, the boss hits you, you lose the exact same amount of health you gained from the Estus Flask, and now you are down one Estus Flask. So you are in a worse position than you were before, but you have not healed at all because the boss hit you. And then they go for the follow-up. And so that's been like my complaint with Souls games in general. But in a fight like this, where Khazan is supposed to be a Berserker. He's supposed to be big, angry, ignore damage, run in, beat the shit out of things, yada, yada, yada. And even in that third boss, it felt like you had to stand back and just kind of play the parry game. And I want to be a big dude with a big gun who doesn't care that I'm bleeding all of my blood out. I am too mad to die. I am going to overpower them. I'm going to grab her arm and break it off so that she cannot attack me. Like when she winds up to swing, I should just grab her arm and shove it back. Because that's what I feel like Khazan would do as a barbarian, as a berserker, is that you see the spellcaster casting a spell, you stab them in the throat so they can't do the verbal part of the spell. Like this is the whole bit about D&D. It's like if you want to stop a spellcaster from casting spells, most spells have what are called verbal components as well as material and somatic components. So they have to have an object that they're holding to cast a spell, they have to do certain hand motions, and they have to say command words. So you can stop a caster from casting a spell by shoving your fingers in their mouth. You feel like the Bloodborne healing for Khazan plus not dying with the final health decay would be fitting? Exactly. If it had the Bloodborne thing where you took chip damage and you could get that back, that would be fantastic. Because you could just attack through the damage you're taking, but it doesn't. And so Khazan definitely feels like the first Berserker because he's really the alpha release. And I would like to work with some beta patches. It's true, one of the most effective ways to stop a spellcaster is aggressively making out with them. Yeah, slam them against a wall, grab their wrists with your hands, hold them against that wall, and make out with them. They're not going to be casting any spells. They might knee you in the balls, but they're not going to cast any spells because you've got their verbal and somatic stuff taken out, and they've probably dropped their material components. But yeah, this feels like it's so slow and I get punished for pushing. And as a Berserker, I feel like I should be able to work past that punishment. I shouldn't be playing defensive. And so when you have moments like that right there where I interrupted her attack, that feels really good because I feel like that's the kind of thing that a Berserker would do. Is that I would just interrupt her attack. I need stamina, please. You know what? I don't like this. Backstab. But so that's my biggest issue with this game so far, is that like they want you to be this badass berserker, but I feel like every time I try to do berserker things, I'm punished for it. I do like that I can parry those though. Okay, I'll just immediately get one tapped, sure. Tactical smoochies, yeah, certain pastors lose their verbal components by simply flustering them. True. 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 But, you know, it's... Like I said, I feel like thematically this game has its problems because I want to be the big badass berserker, but I get punished for it. And I feel like if it had a Bloodborne style, you heal when you do damage. That would be badass. And the game instead has this thing where you can if you have the right armor. Okay, I'm out. Okay. If you have the right armor, you do heal from perfect guarding, like the brink guards, but it's not a lot. It's a slow heal over time. Again. Just parry it back at her. I do like that. I do like parrying it back at her. That feels pretty good. Attaching that heal to a perfect guard further engenders a passive playstyle. Yeah, you're constant. So there is a thing that you can get called Armor Breaker. I'll show that in a minute. But, like, she's not really... She's not the kind of character that really does it because she doesn't have a lot of melee attacks. But there's a thing called Armor Breaker that you can get where when you get a Brink Guard, you can immediately mash the attack button and get in 2 quick attacks. This right here, followed by this. But it requires you... Okay. As you can see, I tried to heal. It requires you to do the thing, and it doesn't interrupt the attacks. And I feel like if you could if that particular attack guaranteed an interrupt so that you actually got the damage, that would be great, but it doesn't. So every time you try to be aggressive, you are risking taking a lot of damage out of it. Because I'm not able to interrupt their attacks. And if I was able to interrupt attacks, it would be much easier for me. Which again, feels like a Berserker thing. Ow. And the fact that that yoinks me back in there for the second attack sucks so much. I don't know, I feel like a lot of this is overtuned. A lot of the fights, like we've talked about this through the course of this game series, is that a lot of the fights feel like they have about 25% too much health. where if they were just a little bit shorter, they would be so much more fun. But every fight feels like a really, really long slog. And it takes the fun out of it, because like I want to get in and have like these really fast-paced, badass fights, and instead it's like, all right, we're in this for another 20 fucking minutes. Every single time. If they made everything have 25% less health, just flat, remove 25% HP, don't change anything else. Just takes fucking damage. I feel like that would make a huge, huge difference. Okay, I'm just gonna take you down here. Just because every fight feels like a ridiculous slog. I think we timed... It was one of the side bosses. I remember we timed the side boss, and it took like 5 minutes and 57 seconds or something for this just random fucking side boss. And then I went and I watched my YouTube video of killing the final boss in Elden Ring's DLC. I found the kill, and I went to the beginning of it, and I found out exactly how long that fight was going to take, like how long it took. And I think it took like 3 minutes and 34 seconds or something? It was like shorter by like 2 minutes, which is insane. The final boss of one of the best Souls-likes ever made taking less time than a mid-boss of this random fucking level. Because again, it was just a side boss. Not even the main boss. Like, it wasn't a story boss, it was an optional side mission. And the fact that it took longer was crazy to me. And so I feel like a lot of these fights, if they just had a little bit less HP, they would be a lot more fun, because a lot of them, the problem is that they're just slogs. Elden Ring is a good job of letting us be strong. I mean, there were a couple of fights where I felt powerful in this. And a lot of them, I think, have really interesting mechanics and really cool design possibilities, but, like, at the end of the day, they're just super long fights. And by the time we get to the end of them, I'm just ready to be done. I'm going over here so I don't have to deal with this. That was bullshit. At least they hit me from off screen. Ow. Disagree. But yeah, a lot of these, like, the attacks, I'm trying to parry them, but they feel so muddy that I'm having trouble to, like, getting the timing down. And she's playing fucking keep away, too. Ma'am. Okay. Nope. All right, I'm gonna stop talking and focus for a little bit. I feel like I've spent a good portion of this time just like complaining about the fights. That was pretty cool. Okay, my parry time was way off there. And, like, she's too far away for the armor breaker to hit her. Okay, there we go. Ma'am. Okay, that actually did really good, because it got the parry, or the brutal. Step on her. Okay. Sorry, I can't read chat right now. I gotta focus. Break that. Okay. Alright, I like it when it knocks out of the air. That's kind of funny. Make it feel more like a Berserker, but I found a restates, drop rates, and titty mods. Yeah, that's something, right? Oh! Ma'am! Got a license for those wings? I did the wrong thing. Okay. Damaging all I can. Okay. Damn it. Top off. That's such horseshit, because, like, I know it's coming, and I'm pressing the button, and it's just not doing it. That was a really good attempt, until it just decided to eat my inputs, because fuck me, I guess. I was really hoping to be done with this way before this. And she does so much damage. Like that double wing slice. Fucking 75% of my health. So fun fact. I have 57 in my stamina, like my health, my vitality, and 60 is the cap. So I'm literally 3 away. And their time to kill boss is bananas on this boss. What do you mean? How long does it take? Out of curiosity, like even in the speedruns. Okay. Fuck you. every one of those fucking attacks missed because she was just playing fucking keep away. Just over 9 minutes to beat her hitless, basically attacking non-stop. That sucks. So question, there's no third phase, is there? Can I have stamina? No, okay. Yeah, like that's way too long for a boss fight. For any boss. That's like final raid in a WoW expansion length. Okay. I had a feeling she only had 2 phases, but you never can tell. I hit the wrong button. Could those fucking targets go away? Jesus. That's okay duration for a casual runtime, but current any percent, that's absolutely absurd. Like, it's just baffling. It's baffling. Like, again, I feel like a lot of these fights would be really fun if they just chopped off 25%, because they're just such slogs. They're just such long fights. Okay, I also don't like that she's like in melee range of you, but you're not targeting her. Like, and that fucks up your first attack sometimes. This is a frustrating fight. Because it doesn't feel like it should be this hard, but she plays keep away so well that I'm just tired. Thank you for that, Pats. I was taking a drink. I'm trying to remember if I... Like, I don't even feel like I can do anything to, like, level up. I wonder if there's, like... Enraged armor ink? I mean... What does spirit accumulation even do? Luke was quite the man, strong, but also outrageous. I don't need to know what those do. I need to know what the fucking stat thing is. Like, what does Brinkguard's spirit that's probably gaining the spirit for your special abilities, right? Also, what does spirit skill gain consumed? I don't actually know what that does. Looking to see if I know where it is or anything. We can't even level up any right now. I have 10 levels that I could put stuff in, but I can't until I finish this mission. So the minute I finish this, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of upgrades immediately. But I can't get any until I get the thing. Alright, let's go. Power capping is bullshit. It is. It is. used up everything. I literally used up all of my, like, every resource I had. Every resource I had. And it dropped her to, like, only about 20% of her stamina. That is also not what I wanted to do, but I'll... Okay. Another thing that pisses me off, you can see... You can see the timer for the special, like, this power-up, right? Goes down even when you're locked in an animation and it can't... Which I kind of hate. Yeah, just do that. That was perfect. Yeah, keep doing that. That was perfect. I like it when you do that, Reese. Top off. Away, you fucking trio of bitches. It's fucking annoying is what that is. Too late. She didn't even take damage on that one. It pushed her back, so she didn't take damage. It's annoying. I'm just like doing this little dodge, step dodge, step dodge, step dodge. Disagree, but okay. I hate this fucking game of keep away. I just always the fucking keep away. Pairing too early. Ma'am, get down. She plays keep away. Just fight me. Back up. Heal. What the fuck was that? Hnetu. What the fuck was that? This deal. Back up. Fuck it, I am mashing the button and nothing is happening. Christ. It's fine. Like, I'm not mad, I'm just tired. I'm just exhausted by it. And I think the worst part, like the actual worst part, is that your stat, like your spirit, the little yellow dots, don't replenish when you die. So like I can't even like be strong when I start. I have to build up to it. Oh, is it ad time already? All that for 25% of her health. I'll just take damage in the heal animation, that's fine. We love it when that happens, right, chat? Alright. Hey. Don't play keep away when I'm in my strong form, okay? I have a limited time in this. I wonder if I could parry that. Actually don't. Ow. Man. Okay, that was the best first attempt we've had so far. My best first phase. Okay. Can you borrow this? Nope. A little bit of health there. Heh. Heh. She's hitting her own walls, dumb bitch. Disagree. Okay. Heal. No, bad. I don't care how hot you are. Oh, you didn't show me the icon. Yeah, she got knocked out of the sky. Pretty funny. Back up, back up. Top off. Ow. Rude. Fucking, that's such horseshit. Because she's behind, like, I don't think you can actually parry it. That was such a good attempt, too. Oh no, that's spirit. Well, I mean, that might be useful. I wonder if she was weak to any of these. I'm actually gonna check. I'm actually gonna check. I don't like the way that the iconography looks for a lot of this because it's really hard to tell what she's weak to versus what she's strong to. Because it says weakness and it has... So immune is what it is. Okay, so she's immune to everything. So there's no point in using any of those because she's immune to them no matter what. That's annoying. Okay. Oops. I was curious if any of those would work, but the answer is no. It does not look like it. Which which kind of sucks. Okay. Elden Beast levels of immunity. Yeah, she's immune to everything. I was like, I might as well see if using them will help at all. But if she's immune to the extra damage... there's no point, you know? Ow. I hate when they like keep away. Okay. Could my timing, like, be less shitty for 5 minutes? Good night, Star. Hi, Varendale. No, I'm having a fucking time here. I'm having a time. Like, this boss just isn't... It's been a while since I've had to bitch about it, but like I really just feel like every boss needs 25% less health. Oh. I just took the death. I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't even bother. I just feel like every boss needs to be a little bit shorter because good fucking god, they're all so frustrating. It also comes down to, like, we haven't bitched about this in a while because a lot of the like late game bosses haven't been too bad. And part of that is because we've gotten a lot of the skills. A lot of the early bosses have a lot going on with them. And they have a lot going on with them, and you don't have a lot of ways to handle it or deal with it or counter it. And then as we've gotten into the later game bosses, it hasn't been as much of an issue because we've started to have the tools we need to counter some of the bullshit. We've started to have, you know, gap closers and stuff. Okay. My timing was very off for that. But this is the first boss that... This is the first boss in a while where I've just been like, your health is too much. You have too much HP. I'm gonna stretch my legs real fast. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. You know, like, part of it is that, like, some of the mid-game bosses have been pretty fun. And even, like, some of them are gimmick fights, but, like, one of the biggest issues that this game has had, since the very beginning, is it feels like every boss is, what if we had this really cool idea, and then we added one too many things? So a perfect example is, Phase 1 does not need the wings. She doesn't need the ability to reposition herself. Hi, Chew. How are you? She doesn't need the ability to reposition herself so drastically in between my attacks, like that. And I would also love it if I could just fucking target her. And if she didn't have the wings, she'd probably be fine. You're sick? I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. I need my stamina. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my controller right now. Alright, bitch. See, look at that. All of that. And she didn't get hit with any of it because she was so far away. She repositioned so far that all of those attacks missed. We're fighting the second to last boss in this game. She's named Reese, and she a hottie. Nope. Anyway, how are you doing, dear? I hope you're doing well for tonight. But yeah, like, I don't know. A lot of these fights are very much in the... It would be really cool if it had one less mechanic. In this case, like... How do I want to put this? A lot of it is that, like, it doesn't specifically matter which mechanic they remove, as long as they remove, like that. Getting hit like that sucks. If they remove one of them. Are you fucking serious? I got stunned into that? Alright, video game, whatever you say. Like when we were fighting Balerion back in the day. Balerion didn't need to... The wings would have felt natural for the second phase? Yup. Well, it's like Balerion didn't need the shield. For example. Traka... I don't even remember what... Maluka didn't need the heal that he had. A lot of the characters, like, they don't need one mechanic. And it's not specific which mechanic it is. It's just that there's always one too many. It's just that there's one too many. And so if they removed any one of these mechanics, it would probably be fine. If they removed, like, those 3 orbs that float above her, because of the way that their patterning is, you can sometimes get hit, like, you dodge out of attack A directly into those. So if they weren't there, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Or if they only attacked once and they didn't have a second or a third strike that's behind you, because you're focusing on the boss. And she's flying in a big arcing circle away from you, right? So they're suddenly behind you. And so you dodge away from her, you dodge away from the projectile that she shoots at you as she's repositioning, and that thing that's off-screen behind you shoots you with 3 beams that do 600 damage each. And that's huge when you can't see them. And I never, like, I don't know the tell for whether they're going to have 2 attacks or 3 attacks or 1 attack or whatever. And so if they didn't have that, it would be fine. If she didn't have the ability to reposition the way that she does. And it's okay when she repositions, like, that's the suck reposition. When she repositions with the big, like, goes across the map thing, that's fine. Like, that feels like it's fine. But that little jump skip when she's out of range of your attacks without a dash, which uses your stamina, that sucks. Also, you may notice that sometimes she only does 1 wing swipe, sometimes she does 2 wing swipes, sometimes she does 3 wing swipes. I don't know what the tell is to decide whether it's 1, 2, or 3. Okay, can I dodge? It's fucking hell. See what I mean? That third one? Not knowing when she's gonna do specific attack. Like, most of the fights, most Souls-likes will have specific tells. Like, you know it's gonna be a specific attack because the boss will, like, they'll have a rapier in one hand and they'll cross it. I think this was the priestess, Ilna, or for the princess, sorry. She was really good about this, where she would cross her blade across her chest and twist her hand so the blade was pointed outward instead of pointing backwards, and you knew that that meant a specific attack animation, and it was always the same. This one, where sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, depending on whether she feels like she's going to get a hit on you, doesn't really seem fair. Because it's like, if the one hits you, she'll go for the second one. That was weird. If the second one hits you, she'll go for the third one. And that's part of the problem, is like, if it's gonna be 3, there should be a tell that it's gonna be 3. Like, maybe she should grow multiple wings. Okay. You know? Like, there's a lot of ways that they could do it where it would be... It would feel better than just... Gonna guess. Am I getting 2 attacks or am I getting 5 attacks? Is it 12 attacks? Is she gonna continue her combo? I don't know. Figure it the fuck out. Focusing now. I disagree with those. I shouldn't have swapped forms. Swapping forms kind of fucked me right there. Because it messed up my timing on my attacks. Okay. What the? Disagree! I'm gonna leave. Oh, I was looking up. I was looking at the 3 fucking orbs, which again is a problem because I'm too busy focusing on them. My timing was off there. I do feel like my timing is getting better with some of the parries, but I feel like it's not consistent enough. Get down. Alright, let's try this shit again. I'd like to heal, please. You wanna... Oh, wait, what? That was weird, I got 2 fucking brutals in there. That was strange. No, I parried, but okay. I don't want to be here. Backstab. again. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be near that. Okay. Okay, got lucky. Need to get this hit in. Alright, I think she's gonna start doing her teleport bullshit, so this is the part where I'm gonna use the, Ma'am. Ooh, that was really late and it still counted it. Managed to jump over that. Okay. So this is getting me to survive out of that, because it damages your bar instead of damaging your health. Okay. Okay. My goal is absolutely to be above her whenever she does that. Just gonna dodge. Too soon. I did that way too soon. God, this is such a long fucking fight!